A nation divided, the two-party system. The United States political landscape is dominated by two major parties, the Republicans and the Democrats. These parties represent distinct ideological viewpoints that shape their approaches to governing and policymaking. Understanding their core beliefs is crucial to grasping the complexities of American politics. While both parties share the goal of a prosperous and secure nation, their methods and priorities differ significantly. This essay explores the core ideological differences between the two parties. The Republican Party, often represented by a red elephant, leans towards conservatism. It advocates for limited government intervention in the economy and emphasizes individual liberties. Conversely, the Democratic Party, symbolized by a blue donkey, aligns with liberal principles. Democrats support a more active role for government in addressing social and economic inequalities and prioritize social justice. The two-party system, though often criticized for limiting diverse viewpoints, provides a framework for political discourse. It channels different ideologies into a structured system, albeit with its inherent limitations. Understanding the fundamental differences between Republicans and Democrats is crucial to navigating the landscape of American politics.
The Republican Party is built on the foundation of limited government, individual liberty, and free market capitalism. Republicans believe that individuals should have maximum freedom to pursue their economic interests with minimal government interference. They advocate for lower taxes, deregulation, and free trade as means to stimulate economic growth and prosperity. Central to the Republican philosophy is the belief in individual responsibility and self-reliance. They argue that individuals are best equipped to make choices for themselves and their families, rather than relying on government assistance. Republicans generally oppose government programs they deem as excessive or inefficient, advocating for smaller government and fiscal responsibility. This emphasis on individual liberty extends to social issues as well. Republicans often champion traditional values and individual rights, sometimes clashing with what they perceive as government overreach in areas like gun control or social welfare programs. They generally favor a strong national defense and a robust military presence globally, advocating for a peace through strength approach to foreign policy. The Republican Party's focus on individual liberty, limited government, and free markets forms the core of their political identity. While their views evolve over time, these fundamental principles continue to guide their policy positions and shape their vision for America.
The Democratic Party champions a vision of an equitable and just society, advocating for government intervention as a tool to achieve this goal. They believe in the power of collective action and government programs to address social and economic disparities. Democrats champion social justice, advocating for equal rights and opportunities for all citizens, regardless of race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. A cornerstone of Democratic policy is the belief in social safety nets. They support government programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, arguing that these programs provide essential support for vulnerable populations. Democrats generally favor progressive taxation, where higher earners contribute a larger percentage of their income to fund social programs and public services. In the economic sphere, Democrats often support government regulation to protect consumers and workers, advocating for a minimum wage and workplace safety standards. They emphasize the importance of affordable health care, education, and housing as essential pillars of a fair and just society. Democrats often see government as a partner in promoting economic opportunity and ensuring that the benefits of growth are shared more broadly. The Democratic Party's commitment to social justice, government action, and economic equality forms the bedrock of their political identity. They believe in using the power of government to uplift communities, protect the vulnerable, and create a more equitable society for all.
Section 4. Social values. A defining divide. Social values often represent a key point of divergence between the Republican and Democratic parties. Republicans, often aligning with conservative principles, generally champion traditional values and individual liberties. They emphasize the importance of family, faith, and personal responsibility in shaping individual and societal morals. Democrats, on the other hand, tend to embrace a more progressive stance on social issues. They advocate for a society that upholds individual rights and freedoms, including LGBTQ+ rights, reproductive rights, and racial justice. Democrats often support policies aimed at promoting social equality and inclusion, challenging traditional norms and advocating for systemic reforms. The debate surrounding abortion rights exemplifies this ideological divide. Republicans, with some exceptions, generally oppose abortion, emphasizing the right to life of the unborn child. Democrats largely support a woman's right to choose, framing it as a matter of bodily autonomy and reproductive freedom. These differing stances on social issues reflect a fundamental difference in perspectives on the role of government and the balance between individual liberty and societal values. These contrasting viewpoints often lead to heated debates and diverging policy approaches, shaping the political landscape and impacting the lives of millions of Americans.
Section 5. Foreign Policy, Engagement versus Intervention. When it comes to foreign policy, Republicans and Democrats often diverge in their approaches, reflecting their core ideological differences. Republicans, generally advocating for a strong military presence globally, often favor a peace through strength doctrine. They believe in maintaining a robust military and projecting American power abroad to deter adversaries and advance national interests. Democrats, while acknowledging the importance of a strong national defense, tend to be more cautious about military intervention. They often advocate for diplomacy and multilateral engagement as the primary tools of foreign policy. They emphasize the importance of international cooperation, diplomacy, and humanitarian aid in resolving global conflicts and promoting peace. This difference in approach is often evident in debates over military spending and intervention in foreign conflicts. Republicans often support increased military spending and a more assertive foreign policy, while Democrats tend to prioritize diplomatic solutions and multilateral cooperation. These contrasting views on the role of American power and the use of military force reflect a fundamental difference in worldview. These differing approaches shape the nation's engagement with the world and have profound implications for global affairs.
Section 6. Finding common ground, a divided nation seeks unity. Despite their stark differences, the Republican and Democratic parties share some common goals. Both parties strive for a prosperous and secure America, albeit through different means. They both recognize the importance of education, healthcare, and a strong economy, though their approaches to achieving these goals may differ. The challenge for American democracy lies in bridging this ideological divide. Finding common ground and fostering civil discourse are crucial for a functioning democracy. While their approaches may differ, both parties ultimately share the responsibility of governing and representing the diverse interests of the American people. As the nation grapples with complex challenges, finding ways to work together becomes increasingly vital. The future of American politics depends on the ability of both parties to engage in constructive dialogue, compromise where necessary, and prioritize the needs of the nation as a whole. Finding common ground is not about erasing differences, but about building bridges across ideological divides to address shared challenges and move the nation forward.